Got any jacks?
Go fish.
Hey guys, there's an emergency. We gotta go.
Okay, cool. That's ski.
You had a jack, you cheating bitch!
Okay, what are we targeting?
Big orb.
Big orb?
Big orb.
Real descriptive.
What other big orb do you see? I'm sorry, I'm not even trying to be an ass. Like, what other big orbs do you see? Oh, Ray is going towards it.
I'm bored.
That was stupid, and I don't feel bad.
I feel bad, but yeah, that was kind of dumb.
Extremely dumb.
I mean, she'll be fine. She's just a lab experiment. And technically, my mom... Oh, I don't think I'm supposed to know that.
Shinji.
Yeah, Dad?
Happy birthday! Sorry, I low-key needed something to say.
I get it. Have a good day.
Hey, you too.
There's activity from the orb.
Yo, Big Sleeter, I loved your Wii modding video.
Isn't it 2015? That video didn't release until 2024.
Shut the fuck up.
So you guys want to watch my new video? Neon Genesis Evangelion, the show I always heard about in passing. Everybody talks about how good this show is. They either do that or talk shit about one of the many characters, most specifically Misato kissing Shinji, but we don't talk about it. Stop talking about it. Misato, stop. Don't go. Don't kiss him. Don't kiss him. But back in November, December, I watched a bunch of animes I wanted to watch for many of plenty reasons, and Evangelion was a huge contender of thing I wanted to watch the most. And then I watched it, and then I liked it so much, I bought a $100 AirPod case. EVA has its issues, but its overall story and message are near perfect. There's a reason why it's so widely praised. It gets super uncomfortable to watch to the point you want to just shut it off, but you're so into what the hell kind of introspect it's doing, you kind of just gotta stay in your seat. It also has Yaoi Jesus. Shinji's a faggot. I could gush about how spectacular this series is, but I opted to do what I do best. Spend loads of cash and let the 3DS modding video break me even. Guys, it's a joke. I don't break even. Evangelion games. I don't want to waste any more time here. Other than I'm gonna say that none of these games are really talked about all too much. Doing research, there's either good reason for it, or it's just because none of the games got localized. Also, no pachinko or mobile games. Just because I don't want to, and also the mobile games all got shut down, so I can't play them. Oh, Big Sleeter, why don't you sideload them? I don't fucking know. Ask Steve Jobs. Starting off with first impression, it's not actually called that, it's just because the sequel's called Second Impression, so they needed the subtitle because it's called Neon Genesis Evangelion. This one's made by Sega. They made that one themselves. They swapped a lot of spit with Gainax back in the 90s. Like, they were fucking like rabbits. I am going into most of these games entirely blind, so pardon if I am absolutely losing my mind in this game because I can't read Japanese text and I'm just mashing buttons to try and follow along. The story goes that Shinji loses memory after his EVA unit suffers a psychological attack from an unnamed angel, and now he pretty much just has to get it back. Shenanigans ensue like angels and FMV videos. It's structured like an episode of the show and really keeps the energy and doesn't feel out of place. Whether it's a good episode, only the richest first impression connoisseur could tell you, because I don't understand Japanese. I kept looking at a guide to see if I was playing the game properly, but every time there was like a button prompt, I had to like just hit the first choice because what else someone illiterate in the Japanese language is gonna do. And then I somehow kissed the class rep, and then another battle happened. The game's a weird RPG and visual novel hybrid. The main core of the gameplay and what you'll mainly be doing is watching Shinji do stupid things because Shinji's fucking stupid. You take control of him as you get to choose different paths for him to go through, like this option or that option. These options affect which of the many endings you can get. The guide I was reading actually had the exact route you can take in order to get the best ending, but I lost to Asuka the first battle, so I got Then there's the battle system, which has 3 sections. All 3 are pretty self-explanatory. Movement phases have you move to a blue square and away from a red square. Slots are slots, and those slots affect whether you actually attack or defend against the angel. If you get 2 or 3 of your EVA, you get to attack, but if the majority is an angel, then just defend yourself. The game is far from hard, except when you really don't understand Japanese, you'll be severely lost. Oh, but Big Sleeter, you can just play the English patch. Oh, viewer, you can just make one for me and then I'll play it. Please, pretty please. pretty please. Can't necessarily say this game's bad. Like, I think some design choices are pretty whack, like the slot machines before each battle, but I also don't hate it. It's really unique, and I think that's what makes it so special in my stupid, dumb idiot heart. But also, it really just feels like an interactive DVD game. They re-released it on DVD a couple years later. I genuinely think if there was an English patch, it would benefit from it a lot. Maybe the DVD re-release has English subtitles, but I'm not paying $79.99 for the damn DVD. Holy my god. A prime big sleeter would have learned Japanese just so they could play the game. They also would have made the PS3 modding video. But maybe the sequel to this game is better. Second Impression released 1 year after the first game in 1997, and is pretty much more the same. You have the FMVs return with the branching paths that you push Shinji through, the RPG elements are back as well. However, the gameplay is fully 3D now. Other than the FMVs, those are entirely the same. This and First Impression are very similar, other than fully 3D battles in Second Impression, which did make the game a teensy bit easier and more understandable to play. My brain works in very mysterious ways, alright. Once again, it's complex because I speak English because it's the only language I know. If I spoke Japanese, I probably would be the easiest game in the world for me.
But also, it came with a mini disc. I'm pretty sure this has the soundtrack on it, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I think it's the soundtrack or something, but I can't tell. Finally, the last Saturn exclusive game is Digital Card Library. I wasn't gonna put this one in solely because Digital Card Library. I genuinely thought it was only on this list for the sole reason of it was on the Sega Saturn. However, there is actually gameplay, so it counts. Mini games that unlock clips and promo material. Remember when you collected Pokemon cards? I know you did because I'm not into Pokemon and I collected Pokemon cards. The menu's actually designed after like a binder, kind of similar to that. As a design, I freaking love this. Graphics design Sleeter is in love with this. There's 9 mini games with 2 being unlocked at the start, and you have to unlock the other 7, and all of them are pretty much pretty simple. It's like, the best way to describe it is we play Galleon. Other than viewing cards, there's no other forms of gameplay, it's just these mini games. Which is why I was hesitant in including this, but hey, no other time can I talk about Commander Ikari's staring contest. Like seriously, when do I get to do that? All 9 mini games in rapid fire. Commander Ikari's staring contest, as Simon says with Gendo, and I think that's really funny. Number 2, Angel Attack. You play as the 5th Angel and you shoot Unit 1, but avoid decoys by Nerve. This is my favorite minigame solely because we get to shoot Shinji. Magma Diver. You guide Unit 2 through the lava and avoid the crater and rock slides. The 8th Angel appears and you position you in the right place to grab the Progressive Knight to kill by Unit 1, and he sadly survived the last minigame. Eva Launcher. Guide Unit 1 through mazes. That's kind of it. Pen Race. You know the joke about dads asking their kid for a beer? That's the minigame. Misato's Beer Gamble. Give Misato beer before her stock is empty. They made a minigame for me. The Human Work. Just don't drop Misato. Do not let her fall. Puzzle. It's a puzzle. Quiz. It's a quiz. Are the minigames bad? No. Mindless for absolute, sure. Like I said, it's a cute novelty game. The trilogy of Saturn EVA games are just kind of that. They're cute novelties. There's no real reason to go back to these nowadays other than for the novelty factor, like I just fucking said 5 times. They're far from bad games, and honestly, I had my share of, yeah, I could get some mileage out of these games for a video moments, which is the best compliment I could give a game. In a similar situation, the collector's discs I was planning on skipping as well. I just want to get to Girlfriend of Steel, man. Neon Genesis Evangelion, Girlfriend of Steel. It's a visual novel about a Girlfriend of Steel. I think. I don't know. I never played it. But hey, they actually made an English port. Let's actually play it. The game itself starts out pretty normally. Shit goes down, joke about Shinji and Asuka, Eva, Angels, the works, and Asuka's naked for some reason. Everybody say, thank you, Gynax. They go see the damage, then they go to school. Class starts when we're finally introduced to the game's titular character, the Girlfriend of Steel, the Iron Maiden. Her name's Mana Kirishima, and she sits right next to Shinji, and the two begin to hit it off really well. By hit it off well, I mean Mana likes him and keeps chatting with him, and Shinji is a 14-year-old boy and barely takes the hint. I love the cornplate-ass visual novel tropes that this game entails. It's prime Evangelion slop at its best, and at its worst, it's prime Evangelion slop / neg. Mana keeps chatting with Shinji, but we're in a love triangle with Asuka now because she doesn't like Mana. Why doesn't she like Mana? Because she likes Shinji. But moving on, she asks to meet you at the roof and gives you a pendant. You blatantly start talking about how you pilot EVAs, which, I mean, I know none of the pilots have NDAs, but to be completely honest, I'm not telling people at my workplace day one. Oh, hi, Asuka. You get called down for an emergency at Nerve, and you get to wander around Nerve, and by wander, I mean just click around in the same place over and over again because I got lost. I can't remember a single scene from the Nerve parts of the story. All I know is nerves involved later on, and there's more Asuka and Shinji moments during these parts. So Mana tags along just because she's bored, even though she's supposed to be in class. You know, I don't go to court because I'm bored sometimes, so. After the nerve stuff, Shinji's met by Kaji, who is a sweetheart, by the way. He tells him to go get the girl before Kaworu comes back for Girlfriend of Steel 2, and he gets the gay all out again. So Shinji does that. Asuka's still mad, by the way. I just want to make that perfectly clear. So they're in home econ class, and they're just cooking and whatnot. Toji, this guy, makes a jab at Asuka about how Shinji's being nice to Mana, and Asuka is this emotion.
Is she mad?
Correct, that's 500 on your board. So Asuka's basically doing the jealousy thing, and everybody knows she's jealous besides Shinji because Shinji's an idiot and I hate him. Mana runs out because she hates being the center of attention. She says as she makes a scene by running out of the class. And Shinji runs after her because that's probably the right thing to do after your Grease makes a scene. Shinji then autistically rants about his Evas and everything's chill. Except Asuka. Asuka goes full conspiracy mode and says Mana's a spy, and everyone calls Asuka insane, so they put her in the loony bin. Bro, I'm kidding. God, do you have such low expectations for these Evangelion characters? Like they're bad people or something. Misato asks Shinji if he low-key likes her, and then he's like, well, yeah, but I'm just an awkward guy. And then he walks Rei home, and this is the one time I get to mention Rei because she does jack nothing in this game. Shinji trauma dumps to her, and Rei hits him with the IDK and starts talking about Gendo. But Shinji finally asks Mana on a date, and she says yes. But right before then, he's called down a nerve because of an unidentified moving object. And while he's in the Eva at the scene, he spots Mana, and obviously he questions it because, like, why the hell as a man are you here? Shinji goes to Misato for advice, kicking dust, like, what if Asuka's right? And Misato doesn't even try to be realistic. She just tells bro to bag the girl. Afterwards, we see Mana having dinner with someone. Shinji's not the happy person, seeing this beyond his own two fictional eyes. So next time he meets up with her, he asks about it. Mana's obviously taken aback by Shinji's. You know, honestly, I'd be mad about it too. Like, why are you as a man having dinner with other guys? Mana reassures Shinji that she likes him, and then the date happens and they finally become a couple. The UMO pilot is at a nerve ICU, and Shinji and Asuka go to take a look at him because their nosy sacks of garbage. Hi, Mana. Mana's friends with the UMO pilot from childhood, and obviously that susses the hell out of Asuka, but Shinji's more focused on getting the f*** out of there. And then Kaji comes in and clutches once again. I want to know about your secret, Mana. Oh boy, do I have a game for you, Shinji. Shinji calls his dad about something and Gendo gives him words of wisdom. He tells Shinji not to bother him with stupid shit. So then cut to Rei fishing in her Eva. I'm sorry, I started laughing. What the f***? Like, imagine like some psychological shit with Shinji and then immediately it pulls out, bam, Eva fishing. Like, God, I f***ing love this game, man. Shinji and Misato are also here and eventually get called down to the office. Asuka basically gets us in trouble with the principal because she doesn't like Mana and thinks she's a spy and working with the enemy team. And Gendo believes her not because her argument's compelling, but because he will do anything to go against his son's best interest. Or he just needs to act cold because he's planning Shinji a birthday party. I don't know. We'll see later on, I guess. Asuka makes it about herself. Then she doesn't go to school, and neither does Mana. Skipping forward, Mana notices her little friend has gone from the ICU, and Shinji's like, okay, he probably just moved rooms. But yeah, the kid's gone, and they don't know where he's at. But in a twist, there's these guys in black, and they spot everyone in the hospital and go after them, trying to shoot them. Misato gets a buzz and books it over. And after about an hour and a half of dicking around, Mana finally reveals she's a spy. What? Yeah, she was a spy for a rival org to Nerve, but then she actually starts liking Shinji and not just using him for info, that she just kind of dipped out from the organization. I don't know what they chose to do. She just gets taken away and Gendo does jack about it. It's kind of funny. It's a fucking Sonic mug. That's cute. Finally, Shinji makes it his duty to be a fucking superhero. The Neon Genesis Evangelion himself. The Starman. To save a girl he's known for a couple of weeks. Type shit, to be honest. Illusion fucking rocks, man. Hey, why don't we leave Misato's apartment and live just the two of us? Without Misato around, we could do anything. Yeah, doing all that was a waste of time. She was in a cage right here. An epic fight happens, and then she presumably dies. At this point, this is where the story kind of branches off into its three and also secret ending. The main three are the Asuka ending, the Mana ending, and the Kaji ending. In the Kaji ending, Shinji just goes to Kaji and is like, I'm really sad about Mana, and then Kaji's like, she's still alive, buddy. And he basically drives Shinji to go talk to her. And the final scene is Shinji and Mana talking about everything that transpired. And Mana tells you she'll come back for him, as Shinji says he'll be waiting. Probably the best ending you can get in the game, I think. Other endings include the Asuka ending, where Mana dies, but Asuka actually shows compassion for how you feel and offers to help you take your mind off things by having a bonfire. She then gets mad at you because you won't get rid of the pendant, and then makes it about herself and leaves as you follow. At the bus stop, she's still angry about it, so Shinji finally offers to toss the pendant. Then it starts raining, and you tell her to take shelter, and then she cuddles up with you in a very romantic way. Then it cuts to the two just sitting in the fields, as they're talking and getting closer than ever, implying a romantic end to Shinji and Asuka. Cool. Third ending, Shinji actually manages to find Mana without anybody's help and chats with her while she's lying down in the bed, and Misato takes her in for a bit. She showers and god fucking damn, just be normal for one goddamn second. Kaji finally comes in and jokes about killing Mana. However, he brings up that Mana needs to live under a different name and address and basically fake her death. We have some moments of Shinji and Mana before she departs and they never see each other again. The special edition, like, secret ending is titled, I Can't Take This Anymore. Shinji fucking loses it. It's just an ending where Shinji and Mana run away together and live happily ever after. Y'all knew each other for like a month maximum, man.
It was kind of cute, I guess.
Well, there's weird Gynax shit in it per usual. However, it's still a pretty decently written slice of life side thing in the EVA universe. It gives some fun moments between characters, and whenever Rei is here, she steals the scene just because she's bored. Would I ever recommend you play this game? No, but I recommend Girlfriend of Steel 2nd. Girlfriend of Steel 2nd is one of the video games ever made. The funniest and worst shit in the entire series. The only reason why I'm grouping it with the first game is because I played them back to back, so any of my strong opinions about the game are probably just because I haven't touched a single other game yet. These two games are only similar in its gameplay. Their stories have nothing to do with each other, and Girlfriend of Steel 2nd is a lot goofier and comedic than the first game. In episode 26 of the show, which is the last episode, there's a scene where Shinji makes this alternate reality where his mom and dad were still married and alive, and Asuka and Rei are just friends from school, and Eva's never existed whatsoever. This game actually takes place in this universe, other than the Eva stuff that's there again, and Shinji's mom and dad are divorced. It also starts off with an ass shot that I'm not fucking showing you. The beginning's just Asuka and Shinji hanging out, establishing that in this universe they've been childhood friends since childhood. But while Asuka's taking a public shower, Shinji sees a big light that's shaped like a human. End quote. Nothing comes of it, but guess who's alive? After you talk with her, you and Asuka book it to the school akin to the scene from the show, and it plays out nearly 1-to-1 with that scene. Rei's technically a new girl, accuses Shinji of peeking at her. Rei apologizes and class ends, and then going into the music room, it's Yowie Jesus, baby! Misato teases you about the whole morning ordeal, and you're called down to the school's infirmary where, holy shit, they just needed everybody to come back somehow. Going into the home econ room, a class rep's there to tell me that I'll be changing in the music room, and Kensuke tells you that my clothes are in the classroom. Let's go to the classroom and get my clothes, obviously. Oh, okay, so you can die in this one. Okay, so when Kensuke tells you that, you're actually supposed to go into the shoe cupboard and talk to Toji and get your clothes from him. So the guys are being guys, and it's guys typically do. Boys be boys type shit. Kensuke randomly asks Shinji if he touched a girl's breast before. He looks like he doesn't even know what breasts are. Toji starts to make it competitive, like, yeah, bro, we get it. You touched boobs before, so have I. Shinji, Asuka, Rei, Kworu, Toji, and Kensuke all get chosen to be pilots at NERV. Did you just fucking ask what NERV was? And thus, Asuka, Rei, and Kworu, the three love interests of this game, ask you to walk them to NERV HQ. Yeah, everybody gets suited up. Kensuke is there because of an excuse I forgot, and they're just all chosen to be the EVA pilots. Oh, never mind. We can't pilot EVAs yet. We gotta find Gendo first. So the two options that ensue are this. Talk to your father, or return to the airlock in silence. I thought I was supposed to talk to Gendo, but if you talk to Gendo, you apologize for how you behaved as a kid, and Gendo, in the most out-of-character way possible, says, "Forgive me, Shinji, let's get along from now on." And the two live happily ever after. That's the ending. They become lumberjacks and become closer than they ever have before. That's it. The game ends. It's over. Or you can just not resolve their stuff and continue the game as planned. Asuka asks you to take photos of her next to the EVA, and yep, I'm swapping to another game. Fuck this shit. Honestly, I never really got Sonic R for a while, but like, friend got me into Sonic R, and like, I've been playing it like nonstop on PC. Like, widescreen, you know, I have to collect all these coins. I have to collect all these fucking Chaos Emeralds. It's such a fucking fun game. Like, Asuka wears a clothing like she's got places to be, which I guess I do, but I'm still gonna complain about it. So the two go to Shinji's house. Asuka watches TV while Shinji plays a computer game, and Asuka's flipping through channels and gets bored and tells Shinji to get off the game, and it's her turn on the Xbox. Shinji refuses. She takes the laptop away and tries to seduce him. That tickles. Later on, skip to the next day's PE class. And yep, fan service. I'm going back to another game. I genuinely think Sonic CD just has like the greatest exploration out of like all the classic games. Bigsleeter, why do you care so much? I don't want my mom walking in on me playing this shit, dog. Also, they're 14. It's fucking weird. Oh, hi, Kworu. Hi, how's it going? Okay, Kworu joining here. We get to finally talk about my favorite fucking part of this game. All right, I'm gonna read this bar for bar. Hey now, I don't want to hear words of love between men.
Get away from him. This is real, by the way. This is, okay, it's a fan English patch. It's filthy and impure. So they're running in groups right now, gym stuff. PE guys are far behind, the girls are running. All 4 guys, including Kaworu, they still included him after fucking hate criming him a second ago. That's kind of funny. I've worked my entire life trying to feel attracted to the opposite sex. Kaworu-kun isn't interested in girls? Shinji actually is hands down the greatest rage baiter in the goddamn world. Okay, never mind. He says some shit about Ayanami. Yeah, she's all yours, bro, man. You can have her. Kensuke wants everybody to group up for an adventure. Why? I don't know. So we're basically goose chasing the location we need to be in. We go to the condenser buildings, go down this path to an entrance to a tunnel. The group prepares to go explore it, and holy fucking shit, this part sucks. There was little to no clear indication on where to go, and you just had to pray to God you were going the right way. There's some silly shenanigans within the group, but it's mainly Asuka trying to be all close to Shinji. Eventually you get to this part where only 2 of you at a time can ride an elevator, so Shinji gets to choose who he pairs up with. I chose Yaoi Jesus, bitch. He fucking kisses me. Eventually I got a bad tummy ache, so they get us out and I go back to the infirmary and Asuka scolds us for something I don't even remember at this point. So everybody just stands there and then Kaworu just says, yep, I'm out, gang. Rei leaves too, but asks for some alone time with Shinji without Asuka around, which makes Asuka so jealous she fucking laser beams Rei out of frame. Eventually the battle we're training for happened and we're all lauded as heroes, and it's the funniest shit ever because, like, imagine this shit in the original show. But after dinner you take up a dance with Rei and Asuka dances with Kensuke. Kensuke pulls you aside and finally asks you to hand over Asuka. His reasoning is, give me Asuka so you can have Rei. Shinji low-key does the right thing here. He actually talks to Asuka how she really feels. And finally, you're left with the final option of going with Ayanami or staying with Asuka. Staying with Asuka kills the romance with Rei, and Kensuke takes it like a champ. You two share a kiss and finally end that childhood friendship. She also kidnaps you back to Germany. And that's the Asuka ending. The Kaworu ending's the funniest shit. Bro carries you to heaven with him, and you're also naked. Thank you, Gainax. And then there's the Rei ending. So spoilers for Evangelion. Rei is his fucking mom. And yeah, in this universe, she isn't at all, but I don't know, man. Maybe I'm too woke. This is still kind of weird. Also, for some reason, it's actually the best ending in the game, quote unquote. Like, you get proper closure with Asuka, and Rei comforts you through it. Ending's really sweet till you realize who you're dating now. Your fucking mom. Anyway, that's the Girlfriend of Steel duology. It's a stupid visual novel that's corny as fuck and I'll never play again, but other than that, it's fucking a masterpiece. Eva in Good Friends is a mahjong game. I was originally going to play it, but going more into the Windows version that I was going to play, I am all set. It's a mahjong game, but with Evangelion characters and other Gainax characters. And also, let me read the wiki blurb about the Windows version of the game, by the way. The Windows version of this game, titled Neon Genesis Evangelion EVA in Good Friends, the Stripping Instrumentality Project, is a port of the PlayStation and Sega Saturn versions with pornographic strip mahjong elements added in. Of, like, the adult characters, right? Listen, I'm getting too political, it's too woke now, but I think if you get off to underage characters, you're fucking weird. Wham, stop crying, it's not real, you're still a creep. There's hundreds of adult characters that you could goon to, and you're gooning to fucking Amy Rose. I don't know, maybe I'm too woke about this, but Vanilla and Conductor's wife are right there. Anyway, yeah, I skipped out on this one, sorry guys. Shinji in Good Friends isn't a stripping mahjong game. It's solitaire. And now I get to talk about the game I was really excited to try out. Evangelion 64 is the game everybody remembers as the Evangelion game. Honestly, this was the game that I was like actually dying to actually play. A fighting game where you fight the angels sounds like a match made in heaven, and I was super thrilled to actually start playing the game. Maybe that's why I didn't like it too much. EVA 64 is lame. It's a fighting game that isn't too crazy complex to actually play, but the gameplay just kind of sucks ass.
Looking into this one, people either like it or hate it. There's like no middle ground with this game. I do own it, and that was not a good financial decision in my life.
But the one thing everybody and their grandmothers can agree on is how astonishingly good this game looks. For a 1999 game on the 64 without needing any extra expansion pack, or not even needing the disk drive, no nothing, this is phenomenal looking. The soundtrack's also really good as well, even though most of it is just MIDIs from the show soundtrack ran through the Mario 64 soundtrack. Other than that, the game's kind of like mid. I know people like it, and I will say the ideas in this game are actually really cool and genuinely make the game its own. But goddamn, the combat is just not fun, man. The story adapts the original show, so most of the angel battles from the show are here, and you fight each angel as a mission. There's some angels missing, but most of the gang's here, so it's okay. If you were a fan of this angel, Good news. In combat, you have a sync gauge and you have an AT field. The higher your sync gauge is, the better chance you have at doing anything. The lower, the worse. Basically, you just have to keep your sync gauge up. If it goes down, just keep defending yourself. The AT field is basically a shield. If you and the angel put yours up at the same time, you can actually do a little sequence where you mash A and down C to rip it open. I won't lie, the cinematics in this game are absolutely phenomenal. It looks really cool to play sometimes. You notice how I didn't say it felt cool to play? Yeah, this game's really unengaging. At its peak, there's some really cool sequences you can pull off, but other than that, the game's kind of monotonous, and it kind of sucks because this is one of the more video game EVA games. I can see why it'd be awesome for someone else, but hey, you know, maybe the PS2 version's better. Neon Genesis Evangelion 2 is a direct follow-up to EVA 64, which, honestly, it's kind of cool that the game had a sequel. It's kind of just a sequel in name because instead of a fighting game, it's more of an RPG, which sucks because there's no English patch of the game, so I can't really play it. But like with most of these games, a lot of the actual gameplay parts you can actually just play pretty fine. The game takes place during the events of the show and end of Evangelion, just like EVA 64. However, instead of just playing each angel fight in a row, it's an RPG where you can steer extremely off course from the canon of the original show. It's like Mario Galaxy 2, where the only sequel part of it is the name. The battle system, funnily enough, reminds me of the Saturn EVA games, where you have the movement and the battles as separate parts of the combat. The movement is in this top-down perspective, and you need to try and get either away from the angel or to go in for the attack, which is basically just press O before the angel can register his attack. Then watch Shinji either kick ass or get his ass kicked. I didn't mind the fights in this game at all. It wasn't too complicated in the slightest, and most battles don't overstay their welcome. I feel like EVA 64 dragged on when it was like, dude, just fucking die, man. I'm not trying to be here all day. I got work in the morning. But like I said, they're very short sections because added on are the social parts of the game. You run around talking to people, and the goal is to pretty much build up your relationships with them, and as it rewards you with more content and combos and stories, yada yada. But Christ, I hate how these sections play. The camera angles are so odd and weird, and they just go wherever you're trying to play, and the switch controls, so you gotta stop and reconfigure yourself from a specific camera angle. I got used to it very quickly, but it was still really annoying because instead of a loop around the convenience store, it was a loop up. Hold on, let me readjust the controls. Okay, and then I do, sorry, one more time. And then, all right, adios, storekeeper, I forgot your name. But you know what? For all the games I played, this one is fucking A tier. The A isn't anything special. It's like a C tier game. The battles could be better, but they're not uber awful or anything. And the social segments are fine, but I don't know what anybody is saying, so you just kind of gotta fill in the blanks.
Hey, Misato, what a lovely morning.
They passed the big, beautiful bill.
We live in Japan.
Oh yeah, I forgot. My bad.
But from everything else I played, this was definitely probably the best it gets for Evangelion games because my expectations are pretty low at this point. Angel Raising fucking rocks. Angel Raising is this WonderSwan game, and it's such a cute little time killer. Oh my god. You play as Kaji, and you're tasked with raising an angel up to its final form. This takes about 6 in-game days to do, which you can either speed up or slow down the process if you just want to dick around while not looking after your fucking bundle of cells. You also get to pick technicians to help you on your mission, and I don't think the tech you choose matters all too much. I picked Maya because this guy pissed me off, and this guy kind of looked like me if I put my hair up, and it low-key kind of made me mad a smidge bit. Then after you pick a name for your angel, Sleeter veterans know where this is going. I named him Girth. And yeah, basically just the typical Tamagotchi game with the role-playing elements on top of it. You can talk to other nerf technicians and workers. You can go say hi to Misato, Ritsuko, and talk to Gendo. But he just kind of tells you to stop talking to people and raise the angel. Bitch, raise your son. Basically, yeah, you just gotta keep on top of him. Give him energy, give him vitamins or supplements when needed, change out his filter so there's no pollution, make sure everything's up to speed, and just that he doesn't die. But this is such a cute little game. I love it. You ever have your favorite game in this entire video be the one game you just like have nothing to say about it other than it's adorable and you love it? Yeah, I understand, you know, Tamagotchi mark is not for everybody, you know. Everybody wants to have like a typing game or whatever. It's a fucking typing game. It's Mario teaches typing Galleon, whatever fucking man. Ayanami Raising Project is another visual novel. It also scares the ever-loving shit out of me. You play as a nerve agent looking after Rei. It's Princess Maker, but Evangelion themed. There's multiple endings, including an ending where there's a fucking romance between you and Rei. You're a 20-year-old man. 14-year-old girl.
It's Princess Maker, but with Rei. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you, right? I've done as much research as I possibly can, and I only saw one person talk about the creepy shit with the player and Rei. And the only other, like, the responses to it were just like, it was like, it's fictional. Would you be this outraged if it was a real child? Who Who wouldn't?
But I opted to do what I do best, and I decided to play it up to the point where it gets weird with the player and Ray. So we're talking to Ritsuko, and she's just yapping away about her job or whatever. I guess we've known her for years or whatever. Pop in again those little big room, and we see Ray. Our player, us, are memorized by her, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's because she's like dark and mysterious and pale and whatnot, but nope. He is in love with her. I've played enough, and that's Ayanami Raising Project. So let's see how the story continues. Shinji Raising Project is sort of the same thing as last time. You play as Misato and raise Shinji. It didn't work. I tried to play it on my big boy PC, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get it past the black screen. I tried it on the next PC I knew would probably run it, but that didn't work either, so I don't really care. I'm not thumping my foot to cover Shinji Raising Project. Am I sad to not play it? I'm fucking thrilled to say I played more of Ayanami Raising Project. I guess I'm just gonna rapid fire some games I couldn't really play all too much. Secret of Evangelion is a visual novel whodunit kind of game where that just really desperately needs an English patch for me to understand. All I know is the basic story of being Kaji's college roommate and you're new at NERV and you have to uncover mysteries surrounding the Evangelion pilots or whatever, as well as mysteries involving yourself. It seems interesting enough to be talked about, and there was someone known as 8 who showed off some pretty neat software that would real-time translate the game's script into English, which was really neat. They worked on a bunch of English patches for a bunch of the EVA games that I did cover and I haven't covered yet. They're kind of the biggest reason I can play half of these games. Shout out to 8. In the last game, I can't actually play at all, is Misato Katsuragi's reporting plan. Not because it was in Japanese, but because the server shut down. It was an online service where you customize your own version of Misato that would basically read you Japanese news. Shit's effed, man. We need a revival project. But hey, finally, a game I can sort of play. Detective Evangelion's a game that's a visual novel, an Ace Attorney game, and the beat 'em up all at once. You play as Shinji, who's a detective in this game, as he solves a series of murders for NERV. They will just make these characters whatever they need them to be for that time. The beat 'em up sections are actually pretty fun, but the rest of the game I can't play, so unfortunately I think Battle Orchestra is better.
It's a platform fighter. It's really fucking fun.
This was just a fun time to try and dick around and learn, man. I'm absolutely dog crap at fighting games, which may shock you, but I haven't gotten estrogen yet, so I'll get good within the next year or so. But Christ, this game is so fun to play, man. It's like Smash where the single player is great, but the multiplayer is what really sells it. I would kill for this game to be released on modern platformers. And honestly, it's the first time in this entire video I'm genuinely upset an EVA game didn't come out on the West. But yeah, if you can gather some people up IRL or on Parsec, then this is definitely a recommendation. It's a little slower and a bit more annoying to try than like the typical platform fighter, but once you get used to the controls, this game is a lot of fun. Up next, Petite Eva Evangelion game is a kids game based on the comedic parody series of the similar name, Petite Eva Evangelion at School. It's a simple minigame collection where you play as Shinji doing mundane tasks as eating cake and guiding Rei's sister so she isn't late. Circle objects to search for a clue or interact, slide objects out of the way. It's a very basic game, but it knows what it is, and I like it for that. I also really like writing your name as a save file. That was really fun and cute. Evangelion 1.0, You Are Not Alone, or by its Japanese title, Evangelion Joe. Evangelion 1.0 is a movie released in 2007 and started the rebuild tetralogy of EVA movies. Now, as of making this video, I have yet to watch the rebuild movies, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I've watched the rebuild movies. Oh my god. These movies were a little worse and a lot better than I ever expected them to be, and I know my friends haven't seen it yet, so I'm gonna be a little particular about how I talk about it because they're the only people I care about spoiling, so I'll save the spoilers for like an unscripted yap session for channel members, but the entire message of the movies are done insanely well. I haven't played the game yet, but I had this whole section of me just rambling about the movies. I cut it out because of spoilers, and also I hate you. So the best way to describe the game, it's like EVA PS2 if it was good. The battle system is overhauled and is actually in a third-person perspective, unlike the map perspective of EVA PS2. But 1.0's battle system relies mainly on QuickTime events and is not absolutely abhorrent, honestly. It's probably the same quality as the game prior to it. The social parts of this game return as well, and they're overhauled not to be Duke-ash like EVA PS2. They're a lot easier to control and run around and whatnot. It's still fluent Japanese. I can't do anything. The game's only based off the first rebuild movie, and the rest of it just takes from the show again, and with the social segments kind of shifting you off course. It's another okay game, I guess. It's probably a smidge better than EVA PS2, but both games are probably the same equal value. Like, they're like, whatever. I'll come back to these games when they make English patches. And thus, our journey is ending with Rebuild of Evangelion Sound Impact. Sound Impact is a rhythm game where each track is a different type of play. Like, the first stage is this Parappa Simon Says type ordeal, then the next you have to move the cursor to a point and then hit circle when the dot reaches that point. It's Rhythm Genesis Evangelion. All right, I fucking love this game. I don't know what else to say about it. Like, how do you review Rhythm Heaven? It's fucking adorable.
And thus I can confidently say I have played every single Neon Genesis Evangelion game. I look like a fucking pedophile right now.
Most of these games were just so whatever, man. Like, there's a reason not many people talk about them all too much other than, oh my god, the EVA game for N64, that was a thing. The visual novels were weird but really funny at points. The actual games were either mediocre or just sort of unplayable because you need to know Japanese. But the ones that were really good genuinely left an impression on me. I really liked Sound Impact. I will be replaying that game. Angel Raising, I hope to actually touch again because I'm just so fucking busy all the time. And yes, I will be playing Battle Orchestra if I'm ever out with friends and we're drunk enough. That game's really fun. But when I ragged on them, it was for a really good reason. A lot of the BS they put into these games is kind of gross, and it's an issue with the entire series. But these games just showed a huge chunk of it. It was awful. However, I still love Evangelion. The show and end of Evangelion are masterpieces, and the acclaim they get is genuinely deserved. The OG story is an amazing introspective on life, and there are a lot of scenes that are uncomfortable and not so very pleasant, but they're typically there to make a point. It's kind of just giving you too much information. I'm so happy I gave this show a shot because I went from making fun of the oopsie daisy parts of it whenever it was brought up to eventually seeing it as one of my favorite pieces of media of all time. I actually had no idea how to edit this video, so I'm just gonna cut it here. Hold on, let me say something funny before I cut.